Welcome to this demonstration video for the Catalist app. Catalist organizes its information in columns. The leftmost column has an entry for every list you've created. Right now we've got no lists, so the column is empty. Let's create one. To do that, we tap on the list column header, which is the word list. Now Catalist offers us default properties of the list we're creating. In this case, I'm just going to change one of them, and that is the list name. I'm going to use this list to go shopping, so I'll call my list shopping. But I'd like to point out one of the other properties, and that is that checkbox that's labelled Advanced List. I'm going to leave that clear, and that's because this is a basic list. In a little while I'll show you an advanced list as well. So I'll tap on OK, and there is our first list. Now this list has two columns of information. One is titled Pending and the other one is titled Completed. And I just scrolled the display horizontally by swiping on the list column headers. You can also use the arrow buttons on the toolbar to scroll. This is a shopping list, so I want an entry in the pending column for each thing that I want to buy in the supermarket. And to add an entry, I tap on the column header, which is pending, and I want to buy a loaf of bread, so I'll call it bread. It allows me to enter details for my list entry, so I'm going to put in wholemeal because I want to buy a wholemeal loaf, and also a category name. I'm going to categorize this list based on the sections of the supermarket where I get my shopping. So in this case I'm going to call it bakery. And there's my first list entry. Let's add another loaf of bread. This time it'll be a white loaf. For category, it now gives me a drop-down menu. I can choose to have no category, I can create a new one, or I can select an existing one. In that case I do want the existing bakery category. There's my second loaf of bread. Finally, I'll add some ice cream. I won't bother with details, but I will create a new category and I'll call it freezer. So there is my sample shopping list. Now I go to the supermarket, and as I put things into my basket, so I swipe them from the pending column to the completed column. I found my 2 loaves of bread. Now I go to the freezer section, found my ice cream. If I find a mistake, I can always swipe back again. But the idea is to keep going until the pending column is empty. That shows how a basic list can work, but how could we reuse this list? Well, we could swipe everything back into the pending column. And let's say that my shopping list this time, I didn't want ice cream. I could delete that. Now to do that, you long click on a list item. I'm going to long click on the word ice cream. And this brings up a command menu. Now Catalist has 3 command menus at the moment, and one of them is associated with list items. And you see the third command down says delete. So there we go, I've deleted that list item. And I can add a new item, let's say newspaper. Try that again, news. Newspaper, there we go. And there's my new shopping list. But this is a rather clumsy way of creating new lists from old lists. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a column of all of the possible things we could create a list from, and we could just swipe those across? And that's exactly what the advanced list does for us, and I'd like to show you that working now. To do that, I'm going to bring down the menu of commands for the app. And in this case I'm typing on the menu command, the menu icon, which is the rightmost icon on the toolbar. Depending on your device, it may be somewhere else. And this gives us the commands that apply to the whole of the app. And the 4th command down says create sample lists. Tap on that. It warns me it's going to wipe out my current information. That's no problem. I'll say yes. And now I have two sample lists. I have a basic list called holiday and an advanced list called grocery. You can change the current list by just tapping on a list name. And you'll see the current list is at the top of the list column, and also its name is on the toolbar. There's our basic holiday list, but I'm interested in the advanced grocery list. Now, an advanced list has 3 columns of information. Scroll the display. And that first column is what I was referring to earlier. This is where we select from in order to build a new list. So let's say I want to go shopping. Well, actually I want quite a few beverages this time, so I'm going to swipe the actual category name, which brings all of the items in that category across. I want all of the beverages, but I don't want lemonade. I'll swipe that back. I want 2 loaves of bread. Again, I want a wholemeal loaf, whole meal, and I want a white loaf. And white. I need some baked beans. I'd like a chilled pizza. In dairy, I would like some yogurt and some eggs. Dry and baked, I'd like biscuits and pretzels. In the food cupboard, we need tomato ketchup. In the freezer, oven chips and peas. Fruit and veg, apples and bananas. And I think we need some runner beans and tomatoes. So tomatoes, runner beans. In household, need some tissues and some soap. No meat this time. In other, we need a newspaper. And also I'd like some toothpaste from the personal care section. So there you can see our new shopping list, and you can see how quickly you can build it up using an advanced list. Now we go to the supermarket. I'll scroll the display again. And as we put items into our basket, so we can swipe them across. And you keep going until the pending column is empty. At this point, I'd like to point out another command, which is the share command. There is an icon on the toolbar. It's the second one from the right. If I tap that, this allows me to share the information in this list. If I was on a phone, it would be giving me an option to share via text or email. I'm on a tablet right now, which is why it's just offering me email. But if I select that, you can see here it's actually created an email based on all of the items in my pending and my completed column. All of the things I wanted to buy in the grocery store and all of the things I've already got. And this can be very useful if you want to share with somebody else where you're at with your shopping or whatever you're using your list for. Right, back to this advanced list. If I want to reuse this advanced list, well, I could do the same thing of swiping things back and into the pending column and then back into the all items column. That's tedious. There's a much easier way of reusing an advanced list. In this case, we bring up the menu of commands for the list, and this is the third type of menu currently in Catalyst. And I long click on the list name on the word grocery, and here is my menu of commands. And the 5th one down says delete completed and pending items. That's exactly what I want. I'll say yes, and now I'm back to square one with this list, and I can start creating my new shopping list. One other thing I'd like to show you is the help information. If there's room on your toolbar, you'll have an icon which allows you to get straight to it. My tablet doesn't have room, so I need to bring up the application command menu, and there is help. And it's organised by topic for different things you can do with the Catalyst app. So for example, to create a list, I'll tap on create a list and it tells me how I can do that. And so you can look at you can discover how to do different things in Catalyst using the help if you need that information. That's a basic introduction to Catalyst. I hope you found it useful. There will be another video showing the advanced features. Thanks very much.